we'll see it through. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind. Fly.
All set.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another FPVFC Town Hall. We got some fun stuff on the docket today in terms of news. So with us tonight, we got Alex, Dan, Dave, myself, Rob's over there. He'll be joining us in a little bit. He's present. He's listening. He's just on an errand right now, I believe. So, all right, let me jump in right into the fun stuff. Let's see. Grab this window. There we go. All right. So first up is the proposed Drone Integration and Zoning Act. This is Senate Bill 1249. It's currently under consideration in the U.S. Senate and is raising significant concerns across the commercial drone industry. The bill, which is a reboot of the Drone Federalism Act, first introduced in 2017 and same again in 2019, would fundamentally shift the regulatory landscape for low-altitude drone operations by granting states, localities, and tribal governments broad authority over airspace up to 200 feet above ground level. As the industry prepares for widespread beyond visual line of sight operations, Senate Bill 1249 threatens to create a fragmented regulatory environment that could stifle innovation and interstate commerce. So we've seen this before, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I believe the original one was introduced by Mike Lee. So it proposes several major changes to the current regulatory framework. Most notably, it establishes 200 feet above ground level as a threshold for state, local, and tribal authority. Below this altitude, these entities could regulate drone operations, including zoning for takeoff and landing, time of day restrictions, and no-fly zones. The bill explicitly prohibits drone operations in the immediate airspace above private property below 200 feet without the landowner's permission, effectively granting property owners control over this portion of the airspace. It also prohibits drone operations within 50 feet vertically or 200 feet laterally of structures over 200 feet tall without the owner's permission, adding operational complexity in urban and industrial environments. The Senate Bill 1249 requires FAA to update its definition of navigable airspace and limits the agency's authority below 200 feet, except for certain designated commercial routes, which themselves cannot include airspace below 200 feet. The bill further requires the FAA to create a process for state, local, and tribal governments to apply for designation of complex airspace and to establish zoning for takeoff and landing zones. Finally, it also mandates that the FAA establish data sharing processes between federal, state, local, tribal, and private UAS traffic management services.
Ouch.
So, yeah, ouch is correct.
I would say in this one case, we probably have something in common with the helicopter pilots that we do not like this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and first and foremost, this is going to push drone flights higher. And which is something that I mean, it limits it basically creates a corridor between 200 and 400 feet because the FAA says you can't go above 400 and this says you can't go below 200, and then it basically it can, and I'm not going to say will, but can limit where you take off and fly from or land. So you have these vertical corridors for takeoff and landing. You have horizontal corridors for actually doing your flight, and it just makes things super complicated. And then even further, I mean, I would assume that state and local municipalities could start charging for access to these vertical takeoff and landing areas. And, I'm not even diving into the stuff that they're identifying here. I'm just saying what can happen, right? So, and then furthermore, if you're a drone company that does business across state lines, it makes it super difficult to figure out what you can and can't do, where you can and can't fly, if different localities are doing different things.
So does
So,
this mean Amazon couldn't deliver a package to my house if I said you're not allowed to fly over my property?
I mean, it characteristically could, it would almost be like an opt in or opt out situation, right? So, it just, and then even still,
Or
like think about Amazon packaging having to dodge different routes between, can fly, can't fly kind of scenarios, right? It just makes it even less efficient.
or are we going to see Amazon do something like in their terms of service for every Amazon user, it's just included that you give them permission to fly over your home, so it doesn't matter, so that they don't have to ask you explicitly, and
Yeah, it's
then
possible.
they just have so many users that they just fly over their own users' homes.
Yeah, I mean,
Next
that's
thing you know,
definitely a possibility.
you're giving them exclusive rights to the airspace over your house and,
That's
Yeah, I
and
wonder.
not their competitors.
So, yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it's just a horrible idea. I know this fell flat on its face twice before. Obviously, we wouldn't be here if it did. So, I would definitely encourage everybody to reach out and talk to their senators, as this is a Senate bill, and tell them to shut this down. Plain and simple. It's just a bad deal. Like imagine dealing what we already deal with the FAA and their restrictions and regulations and all that, and then magnify that times 100. Like this is what you're really looking at. So crazy. Any other thoughts on this one, guys?
Yeah, just as you said, Josh, this came up, same sponsor. It's Senator Mike Lee, senator from Utah, and this will likely he'll try to bring it up into the aviation subcommittee. And our request is please send an email to your senators telling them that Senate 1249 from the 119th Congress is a dumb idea. It was a dumb idea when Senator Lee introduced it in the 117th Congress, and it was a dumb idea when he introduced it in the 118th Congress. And GovTrack, good site that we follow and use, gives this a 1% chance of passing. But crazier things are happening right now, so we ask that you participate. We all need to be a bit more active than we have in the past. That's not. I'm not giving anyone a hard time. Just these times call for all of us to be more participative.
Yep. All right. Next up, we probably saw this coming from a mile away, but China's recent decision to restrict exports of key rare earth elements is set to create new challenges for the U.S. drone industry, adding to the complications already caused by tariffs. These export controls target materials essential for manufacturing the high-performance magnets and batteries that power commercial drones, raising concerns about supply chain stability and production costs. So, in case you didn't know, a lot of the rare earth, in fact, rare earth minerals, 80% of U.S. imports are from China. That includes things like lithium and things like neodymium, for those lovely magnets that are used in all our motors. They're critical for making lightweight, powerful magnets in drone motors and navigation systems. China currently dominates the global supply of these materials, providing over 80% of the rare earths imported by the United States. New restrictions specifically target heavy rare earths, which are especially important for advanced drone components. With China export controls now in effect, U.S. drone manufacturers face immediate uncertainty. Shipments of rare earths and finished magnets from China have been paused while a new licensing system is put in place. Licenses for export may take up to 2 months to process, and there's no guarantee that U.S. companies will receive approval. Most U.S. drone companies keep only limited inventories of these materials, so even a short disruption could lead to shortages and production delays. So, bad deal all around.
So I read this, and 17 rare earths are being added to a control list. You recall probably about a year ago, we talked about a control list. The U.S. does this as well. It's a licensing technique, just as Josh was just saying. And there were two that were left off since they're pretty easy to get. One of the rare earths that was left off this list of 17 was what's that correct pronunciation?
Neodymium.
Neodymium. It's easy for me to say. So that and another, and it's because they are somewhat plentiful to mine. But once again, China has done a great job of cornering the market on refining. So, and we have 1.7% of the world's neodymium. And China 87%. So even though it's off the list, it's effectively the same point. So this is not good. And also a bunch of these rare earths are used in things like medicines as well as diagnostic. So lots of use in healthcare industry.
Yeah, it does say that efforts are underway to diversify the supply of rare earths, but alternatives remain limited in the short term. Australia's Linneus Rare Earths is the largest non-Chinese producer, operating both mining and processing facilities and expanding into the United States with a new plant in Texas. Congratulations, Rob. Brazil's Sierra Verde project is ramping up production in magnet-grade rare earths, and other projects in Vietnam, India, and Saudi Arabia are in development. However, most of these sources will not reach full capacity until 2026.
A lot can happen between now and 2026, and who knows, maybe none of those countries are going to want to export them to the United States. So
it's possible. Yeah. So let's see. United States does have some domestic production, such as MP Materials Mountain Pass mine in California, but this facility primarily produces light rare earth and lacks the capacity to refine the heavy rare earth most affected by China's restrictions. So bad deal. Yeah. So yeah, sad face. All right. We got FAA test ability to detect drones following mystery sightings last year.
I thought they weren't a mystery, but okay. Thought that mystery was solved.
You know.
Also, wasn't it earlier this year, not last year?
I think it spanned last year into this year. But anyway, Federal Aviation Administration is testing the ability to detect drones following the fright stirred late last year by mysterious drones over parts of the East Coast. Remember the drone fiasco under the last administration from a few months ago? Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said in a video posted to social media, "I was living in New Jersey, and I can tell you the public was deeply worried about the lack of clear information. Communities, kids, families seeing drones flying over their homes are very concerned." The FAA is now conducting tests to ensure it can properly detect drones in our airspace while making sure there's no interference with aircraft navigation systems. Wasn't that what remote ID was supposed to do? Just saying. FAA receives more than 100 drone reports near airports each month and has been testing drone detection technologies at airports over the last few years. The FAA is now expanding testing to off-airport locations, and new tests are taking place through April 25th in Cape May, New Jersey. So Cape May, prepare for more drones. The FAA said more tests are planned this year in New Mexico, North Dakota, and Mississippi. Duffy said the tests are about government transparency, protecting national security, and public safety. The FAA will operate several large drones and more than 100 commercial off-the-shelf drones during tests. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in January that the drones seen in New Jersey and elsewhere late last year were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Let's see. There was one more thing in here. Tests might seem like a response to a narrow issue, the mystery drones, but Gray said the FAA can use these tests to make significant improvements to the systems and software the agency uses to track these flying objects. And Graves said that airspace officials are going to have more drones to deal with in the years to come. Well, not if we can't get magnets or batteries. Expected increase in commercial drone use for hospitals, product deliveries, news gathering, and reconnaissance, and more. And he also warned that drones can be weaponized. So, hey, there's that too. More tests coming. I don't know what they're testing, how they're testing, but there's going to be tests. And apparently remote ID is not enough. Throwing that out there. All right. So it's that time of year again for the FA's 2025 Drone Safety Day. That day of the year that we all wait for in anticipation. They encourage us to take part in this campaign by either. What's the date? April 26th is Drone Safety Day. They encourage us to take part in this campaign by either hosting an event, creating online content, or participating in an event. The national event encourages drone pilots and recreational flyers to fly right. With RIGHT being an acronym for register your drone and comply with remote ID. Interact with others, connect with the drone flying community, gain and share knowledge, learn the rules, have a safety plan, use the before you fly service, and trust and train, take the safety test and get flying. Okay, so that's fun. Safety is a shared responsibility that requires the community and the FAA to work together. So I went ahead and just pulled up some of the events. And there's quite a few, to be honest. People are doing little, could be little tours or doing some drones and emergencies, Bay Area Drone Safety Day, Montana Safety Day, drone operator safety, legal, and operational updates. So I just pulled up the map. There's a few scattered here and there, mostly centralized. There's some in California. Looks like something in Missouri. Oh, it's telling me. All right. Mississippi. Oh, geez. It doesn't like me. And then we got something in Puerto Rico, too. Just in case you're in Puerto Rico, you want to do a Drone Safety Day thing. So, but yeah, Drone Safety Day, April 26th.
So
Look at the
by and large,
URL of that web page you're on, and it's the 2023 Drone Safety Day events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was going to comment that if you look at some of the associated materials,
that's hilarious. But this
2020,
says April 26th.
2021, 2022.
They like to reuse old material, huh?
Yeah. So this is, yeah, it's good to push, safety. We agree safety is important,
100%.
and we have in our own safety guidelines. We've called out what we recommend to be safe, but this is taking up a quarter of a page on a website, and there's not a lot of attention from the FAA on this topic. So
the drone, their website is awesome. So let's see. We're gonna click here real quick. Open this in a new tab. There's the page on the FAA's website.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, they gave this a high school, no, grade school,
elementary school,
yeah,
preschool try. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So, on to something interesting. So the NYPD invests in new tech to combat drones for nefarious purposes. That's a strong word, nefarious. Just saying.
But we all had to register our drones, so we wouldn't use anything for nefarious purposes. So problem that's been solved, I thought.
Yeah. And NYPD, if you're in Manhattan, it's almost as restrictive as the freeze. So, if anyone in this area, if they say, "Oh, I'm going to the city, what do you think I should do about flying?" The universal response is, "Please don't." NYPD has no sense of humor. At a minimum, you will have your drone confiscated, and the probability of you being arrested for some other charge is high. So close to the freeze, and our recommendation, and a lot of the folks who live in Manhattan, just don't. And so, and yes, there's a permit now, $150 for the permit, and it's a difficult and long process, and the $150 is not refundable. So
If you
it's
don't get
just-
approved, you don't get your money back.
that's right. So just please don't fly in New York. The NYPD is a 36,000 person police force. They are very serious individuals. It's not, don't try to play jokes with the NYPD, please.
Yeah. All right. So last year, months before the public's attention was captivated by reports of mysterious drones circling New Jersey skies.
Gotta love those Jersey drones.
They're gonna
Man.
milk that forever, aren't they?
That's it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like Gatwick, right?
We've been
Gatwick
Gatwick,
2.0.
The NYPD signed a $383,000 contract to buy a drone tracking system from a private company, according to the contract. The system is designed to be placed at a single location where it can use radio frequencies, cameras, and radar to identify and track drones in city airspace, the contract shows. Given the rise in popularity and drone usage amongst the populace, it is believed that drone detection will continue to be a topic of emphasis going forward, especially to prevent the uses of drones for nefarious purposes. The NYPD views the technology as a critical tool for officers who work to combat terrorism threats in the city, according to the contract. NYPD's Counterterrorism Division is responsible for detecting unauthorized drones at major events and at areas of critical infrastructure in the city. NYPD views drones as possible public safety threat, and therefore the department needs to track their flights across the city. The NYPD spokesman said in response to questions about the contract, our specialized counter-unmanned aerial system trained officers have recently invested in more robust drone detection capabilities to better protect the public. NYPD did not immediately provide information about how many drone-related incidents they responded to in the city this year. They also didn't say where the drone tracking technology is placed in the city. That's probably wise.
Yeah, little curious to me. One location?
Yeah.
If it's emitting something, then it should be easy to detect where it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, Alex
don't
over
wanna-
here giving away
I don't
state
wanna-
secrets.
I don't want to talk about it.
So, yeah.
Or another way to test it is you could fly a drone, and depending on which angle they come from, you know where it was.
There you
Oh,
go.
no.
There you go.
Let's just start a triangulation just via arrest.
Or yeah, you fly the drone, you get arrested, you ask for the you ask for the information from the detection system for your court case so you can use it as evidence, and then you can see where it is based off of that, right?
Man, Alex with the game plan.
Don't
All
be
right.
that. Don't be that guy.
Don't be Alex.
Not worth it.
I'm in Alaska
No.
right now, so I'm a little far away to do that.
We know.
All right, so I had to bring this up because I think it's absolutely hilarious. So I haven't watched the video, but I'm gonna. Apparently, there's a viral YouTube video called "The Ultimate Skydio Roast: Surveillance, Stupidity, and Straight Up Shame" by Wedgen. I'm gonna mess up this name. Wedgen Big has reignited.
This is a fantastic video. Everyone listening to us should listen or watch this video.
I've not heard of this video yet.
Yeah, it was the first time for me too. So it has reignited controversy surrounding Skydio's questionable marketing tactics, spotlighting a scandal first uncovered by DroneXL. The video delivers a scathing critique of Skydio's decision to send law enforcement promotional mailers embedded with AT&T SIM cards capable of tracking recipients.
Yeah, this Skydio did this. This is not made up. This is it's stunning that that Skydio would do this. And now they say that they really had no knowledge. It was the marketing firm that they were working with that they just paid, and this was the marketing firm's idea. It sounded a little weak. Also, the video does include some strong language, so if that's offensive, please be warned.
All right, so Wedgen Big's video pulls no punches, framing Skydio as a company that overpromises and underdelivers while engaging in ethically dubious practices. The host targets Skydio's spy mailer campaign, echoing concerns DroneXL raised earlier. He says they mailed out tracking devices to cops. Who the hell approved this? What kind of dystopian Dora the Explorer move is that? The roast doesn't stop at the mailers. Wedge and Big critiques Skydio's core product, mocking its AI claims. You marketed it like it was Skynet. What we got was Skydome. He points to frequent disconnections, comparing the drone's reliability to an emotionally unavailable X. The camera quality also takes a hit. Skydio's footage looks like an episode of Cops on VHS, while DJI is filming Netflix originals. The shop commentary amplifies the public's growing skepticism towards Skydio's credibility. This dude's hilarious. I've got to watch this video. DroneXL first broke the spy mailer story on March 10th, revealing Skydio's partnership with Mark Media to produce video brochures equipped with 5G connectivity for tracking. A California police sergeant, speaking anonymously, voiced serious concerns. When learning of the tracking capabilities of the Skydio mailer, I was deeply concerned about the motive of the mailer as well as the security of the company that held the data. Forensic analysis confirms the presence of AT&T SIM cards with inconsistent privacy disclosures, raising red flags about unauthorized data collection. Mark Media's dashboard, as reported by DroneXL, showed 561 units, logging 1,959 engagements across 665 U.S. locations over 251 days. Some recipients interacted with the mailer up to 172 times, demonstrating the technology's effectiveness, but also its invasiveness.
I can imagine like 100 of those.
So they just toss it after the first?
Like, what is this? And then close, like, what is this? What is this? No, they didn't really just send me this, did they?
Right.
So, they didn't toss it after the first time?
Well, you had to show everybody what it was and how it was tracking you. You had to show it off.
So Skydio's mailers sized A5 featured 5 or 7-inch HD 720 screens, a 9-month battery life, and a USB-C recharging capabilities. Equipped with 5G connectivity via AT&T SIM cards, they tracked interactions and locations through cell tower data, offering varying accuracy, obviously tighter in urban areas, looser in rural ones. Mark Media claimed an 80 to 90% open rate, underscoring the mailer's marketing appeal. However, the sergeant warned electronic tracking like this is illegal in California without a consent or a warrant, pointing towards potential legal violations. This technology, while advanced, clashes with Skydio's Blue UAS certification, which emphasized secure U.S.-made drones for government use. The lack of consistent privacy disclosures further erodes trust, especially among law enforcement, Skydio's primary market, and one of their only markets, because guess what? They don't sell to consumers anymore. So Skydio's troubles aren't new. Weeks before Wedge and Big's roast, YouTuber Original Dobo released Skydio drones marketing blunder not smart, similarly slamming the mailer scandal. Wedge and Big builds on this sentiment, noting Skydio's hypocrisy. You're out here crying to Congress, ban DJI, they're Chinese. Meanwhile, you're Amazon priming burner phones to the police. Jeez. This contradiction, preaching privacy while engaging in surveillance, has fueled widespread backlash. The drone market remains fiercely competitive, with DJI dominating due to its reliable, affordable products. Skydio's X10, priced around, get this, $25,000, struggles to compete with DJI's $15,000 to $3,000 models in terms of stability and camera quality. After exiting the consumer market in 2023 to focus on enterprise and military contracts, Skydio has leaned heavily on its Made in America branding. Yet, as Wedge and Big quips, you're not made in America, you're made in paranoia. Oh no, that's fun. So yeah, this is a bad deal all around. Rob, you got something, buddy?
Yeah, I should probably dig into it. Any indication where these Mark Media chipsets are manufactured?
I have no idea, but probably China.
I mean, that's my assumption. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but that would be my assumption as well.
Did you get one, Rob?
I'll plead the fifth. No.
Yeah, this to me is a shame with Skydio. They have this was this past week. There was a lovely puff piece in Bloomberg Business Week on Skydio. It was rather flattering, and so to do something dumb like this, and I think those of us who are technical geeks, and we're not terribly impressed with the Skydio's product, but to pull a gaff like this on the marketing side is really dull. And they certainly do have a lot of brilliant engineers and a number of aviators that are just fantastic and well known in the industry. So, wow, this was really dumb.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, with a plethora of drone firms popping up that are capable of providing this, and the more the merrier, it leads to a significant, if they lose trust from the people who buy them, significant competition moving towards these other companies. So,
Yeah, if you're
just throwing
worried
that out
about
there.
Chinese drone manufacturers tracking and sending your data back to the company, like Skydio's
Obviously,
doing that with
Skydio's okay with it.
their marketing, let alone their drones.
It's like you open the instruction book. Where are you?
I know where you live.
It's like that creepy guy over your shoulder all the time. Like, All right. I'll stop. Last but not least, this is pretty cool. And we'll end with a drones for good segment. But medical drone trials to test supply drops for emergencies. So the Drone 814 initiative in the greater Johnstown, Pennsylvania area will use drones to deliver supplies like defibrillators and EpiPens to local emergency scenes. The trials will compare the drone's speed to that of an ambulance. This is pretty cool.
Are they using racing drones for those? Like really old
No,
ones? Just looking at that photo,
These are like
it must be just
some ZMRs right here.
a stock
like,
photo of drones.
maybe an alien right there, but all right. So initiative using aerial drones to deliver defibrillators, EpiPens, and other medical supplies to local emergency scenes have been cleared for a test run. Hey, to go back, at least they're not using old like Phantom
Yeah, it's not a white
3
Phantom.
pictures. Like, I'll give them props for that. Okay. Drone 814 partners plan to begin airlifting supplies across Greater Johnstown this summer through medical drone trials in a bid to show the world that the effort can save lives and medical costs. A partnership called Drone 814 will begin coordinating aerial drone deliveries of medical supplies this summer across the Greater Johnstown area. From there, the sky's the limit, with the group hopeful the effort will also deliver high salary jobs in the area. The launch signals a new era of high-tech emergency response that will expand across the state of Johnstown if the project pilot proves successful, Arium Chairman Larry Newton said. This initiative doesn't just push the boundaries of what's possible in an emergency response. It opens new doors for our local workforce and sets the tone for how technology and community impact can go hand in hand. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but they're going to start tests in June with mock deliveries designed to ensure the drones and their safety procedures are operating properly before they are dispatched to an accident and emergency scene. Good take. Absolutely love that. The goal is to start deploying them for live medical delivery trials over 2 separate periods in July and August. During that period, if someone calls 911 and reports an incident the medical drones can support in Greater Johnstown, they'll be dispatched in addition to local ambulance services. The goal is to track how quickly life-saving aid can be delivered to the scene by an aerial drone compared to by an ambulance. And Drone 814 will also track data on the medical side to outline the savings that faster response mean, not just in terms of lives, but also projected savings through faster treatment and recovery times. When it comes to a cardiac arrest or a bleed or an overdose, it's proven that the faster you provide essential aid, the less time someone is in the hospital and less therapy they might need afterward. Drone 814 partners will handle the test runs with the goal of getting funding and official clearance to begin making drone response a 24/7 operation in Johnstown. So what they're planning to do is they're using bigger drones that will have, and I'm just paraphrasing here, bigger drones that will have little compartments on them, and the emergency respondent will tell them which door to open on the drone. One door could have an AED, another one could have Narcan. Hopefully, one of the doors has a tourniquet in it, or multiple tourniquets, but that kind of thing will definitely save lives. And those who don't have experience with an AED, they are, for lack of a better term, dummy proof. There's verbal instructions on them that tell you exactly what to do. You do not need to have severe experience with them, a simple class. But even that, the instructions are usually right on them, and it's literally like, put it on there, it'll test, and then it'll tell you what it needs to do and what you need to do. So they're pretty cool little devices. I've taken classes with them. They're pretty cool. Let's see. Once the drone lands and delivers the supply, it won't be any different than a typical emergency calls. Adding that 911 telecommunicators often find themselves instructing people how to render aid until ambulance paramedics arrive. Those seconds count when someone is suffering from a cardiac arrest. He said the new technology will likely have a big impact in remote areas of the region. Because of the call volume, Johnstown is a great place to test this project, but I think it's going to be the rural areas locally and all over the U.S. that will really benefit. There are areas in Somerset and Bedford counties where the nearest ambulance might be 30 minutes away. That's bad. So pretty cool project. Hope to see how this pans out, and we'll keep a watch over it during the summer and see if any more news comes out about it. And Drones for Good is definitely a good deal. Medical supplies, especially those critical ones that seconds count, EpiPens and AEDs and tourniquets and whatever else to save some lives. Yeah. So
yeah, this is a business model that we've endorsed in the past from the perspective of how do you make money delivering a pizza, for example, but something that's going to save a life, that's worth something. And we've talked about it. Zipline did this beautifully in Uganda. 75-mile radius with their drones, significant payload capacity, and fully autonomous aircraft. So it should be really interesting to see what type of aircraft these folks use, if they are quadcopters, what type of radius they're able to support, as well as it sounds like they're going to be pretty big if they're going to have multiple payloads on all of the drones.
Yeah. So I think that's super cool, and definitely, if it saves lives, definitely worth a little bit of taxpayer money on that. So, all right, that's all I have for this evening.
I had
Dave, I hand it over to you.
I just wanted to add a couple of things where we've had a pretty one of the behind the scenes things that we've been working on and for a number of years is being rather knowledgeable or gaining knowledge and helping some of the retailers with the harmonized tariff schedule. So now that comes into the fore in the news. And so tariffs are, of course, on everyone's mind these days. And certainly they are on the mind of pretty much every FPV retailer around the country. So we're talking to a number of folks, and I saw Madstech, interesting, over in the UK, was furious about some retailers lifting up a price immediately. And so two things. One, if you have ideas or concerns, let us know. We're involved with a number of the retailers. We're probably the best way to try to get some motion on this is to first go to the heads of the various agencies involved. That's head of commerce and head of treasury. Then from there, congressional representatives. So those are things that we'll be helping with, writing, involved in some manner or fashion. And my request is get involved, but also give the folks who are in the retail business the benefit of the doubt, please. If you see prices rise immediately, please don't make the assumption that you're being gouged. When you have to replenish your inventory based on the sale of current inventory in stock, you sometimes have to raise the price immediately because given the magnitude of these tariffs, that the price of the next tranche of inventory is going to be much larger. So a little grace, please, to the folks there. We are blessed with a bunch of really fantastic retailers across the country. We work with them; they're good folks, and there's no one that I can see that is just gleefully gouging the rest of us. And so, that's and as I say, if you have any ideas or thoughts or questions, let us know. We are this is something that we're involved in, and helping with the experience and knowledge that we have.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to chime in and say, I've gotten some emails from a couple of these guys, and, not directly reaching out for help, and I'm sure a lot of you have from some of them. And, I'm going to say they're not out to price gouge you guys. They're out to make sure they stay in supply for all of us. And that's a big deal. And there's slim margins already in the FPV business. And they're just trying to make sure they can get products to help you stay in the air. So try not to take it out on them. That's a big thing I'm going to throw out, and understand that they're trying to stay in business, trying to feed their families, trying to make sure their employees get paid, and still do all the things that help keep you in the air. So be understanding of that. That's vitally important. So anything else for us, Dave?
Not for me.
Okay. Dan, anything from you, sir?
Nothing for me.
All right. We'll wrap it up. Sorry. Rob, anything from you?
Or Alex?
I do have a couple things. Texas HB 41, I think we mentioned it briefly a few weeks ago. It made it past the committee with the original text, so now it's moving on to calendars. So essentially that just means that the people that get to schedule it, it's in queue for that. So we're still working active hard on the Texas front. The way I see it, if they're going to try to pull things from public safety, where does it end? As consumers, recreationalists, what's next? We know it's not going to stop. Secondary, I wanted to throw out Drone U did a piece this week. Paul Aiken with Drone U about some rumors about some potential executive orders that Trump was maybe going to sign to stop DJI right now. I just wanted to say that I dug into that. And all the people that I've talked to in the know have heard nothing of the sort. So I don't know where he got his intel or his info from, but it's a video that's getting circulated around right now. If it's accurate, nobody else seems to know about it, at least in my circles. That's all I got.
All right. Alex, wrap us up.
I actually don't have anything, so keeping it short tonight.
Nothing? Oh, my gosh.
It's not that I can think of.
Right.
You practicing?
I'll remember in like 20 minutes. So
practicing any races?
Not really. No, just focusing on my research up here. So
excellent.
All right. Well, he's joining the band of the bushy beard here. So we're encouraging that and loving it. So guys, I'll wrap us up for this evening. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate all you guys. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something. Please reach out to your senators on that Senate Bill 1249. If you're in Texas, help Rob out with remind me of the name of that one, Rob.
It's HB 41 in Texas, but Josh, there's a bunch of them across the nation right now. DAA is the best place to go if you want to see a list of all of them.
All right, cool. So go check out DAA, get the list. If there's one going on near you, definitely reach out to your state level representatives to see if we can squash some of those. And with that, I thank you and have a good night. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Good evening.
so high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.